Yo, what up, my Shadow Armies? It is I, Shadow Critias, back again with another MHA what if video. So yesterday, you guys voted that you guys want to see this early, and you guys want this to turn into a movie, but we honestly do not know how long this will be. My guess will be closer to an hour, maybe, by this recording. It probably closer to that, or maybe an hour right now. So, and you guys were really enjoy our story explain of this idea that me and Roadkilled actually thought of and doing. And but before this recording, we were doing a little bit recap on everything before we made the video. I was bored as hell because I just want to go ahead and make this video so to get this out of the way. We were planning to release this Monday, but by this recording, is Saturday, but the video will be uploading Sunday, which is right now by this video is uploading. So I got Roadkilled here, and he is excited for this because he has been wanting to do it, and he doesn't want to wait no more. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, we're both bored as fuck, so he's all for it. But there's one thing I want to go over real quick. We changed our mind on having the League of Villains involved. So, spoiler out of the gate, uh, the League of Villains will be died off screen. So there will be no we couldn't have any ideas how we want them to be in this. So the League of Villains are not going to be involved, aka they will kill off screen. So I just want to clear that out of the way. And even Roadkill actually agreed on this because we couldn't even think of how we want this to go. So that's all we could think of. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Where we go over on this summer right now. But we might as well go ahead and get into this what ifs. But let you guys know, if you guys cannot handle the gore and violent and strong language or whatever, then this video is not for you guys. So I highly recommend you guys leave right now. So this is how we're gonna go. I will explain go in depth of the stories and go and play as the characters. Where Roadkill is being a fan of the Xenomorphs, he will do some how Xenomorphs does because he's more knowledgeable of the Xenomorph than I am. So that's pretty much he's gonna do. So pretty much we're gonna do like back into of what we have in our minds. So yeah. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's just go ahead and start this movie. So we start off the first movie. We start at the beginning where it's nighttime, where the day where the pro heroes were about to go rescue Bakugo, where Deku and the others were, about to rescue, but we're not going to focus on them because that happened off screen. We focus in this organization, aka the company, and we see pretty much some of the workers, the scientists, are do their usual thing, being complete assholes, and experiment the xenomorphs, and we see a man wearing all suit and tie, but right next to him is the other guy wearing suit and tie, who has similar let's just say similar. How should I put this to go? You can say he's related to Yaoyorozu, aka her father, and he's speaking to the man who owns the company. So I'm gonna pat this on to Roadkill to go on more in depth in this. So take away, Roadkill.
Alright, so more or less, like Shadow said, Yaoyorozu's father is talking to Bishop Weyland about what they're doing, the experiments that they're doing on the Xenomorphs, and the results they're getting out of them. And Bishop Weyland was basically telling, as they were speaking, Yaoyorozu's father was asking him about the specimens, and Bishop Weyland was saying that he found a particular specimen that had intelligence unlike any other out of all of them that were born at the facility. That it was showing its intelligence was remarkable, unlike anything they've ever seen. And they were doing multiple tests, confirming how smart and dangerous this specimen is, and how further tests are going to go underway to see the limits to its intelligence. And then they were also talking about the production of the eggs and stuff, like, how many more hosts are available, and they go off. He says several hosts are already lined up to be impregnated, born and stuff, and they're going over and everything until a man named Dr. Groves, walks in and says to Bishop Weyland that it's time for something important he has to do. I'll get to that later. I'll get to that a little bit later. So Bishop Weyland gets everything ready. He's like, all right, I'll be there. He looks at Yaoyorozu's father and says, "It appears I'm needed elsewhere. I'll call you again if I need anything. Keep up the good work." And then Yaoyorozu's father's like, "Okay, Bishop. Okay, Mr. Weyland." And Mr. Weyland leaves and everything. And Yaoyorozu's father is like he's thinking of what to do next. He's writing down all the stuff that Bishop Weyland was telling him about, and he develops an interest towards the specimen, and then he walks down the corridor. He walks down the corridor to examine the specimen himself. And, well, I'm not going to get into detail about it, but the specimen was beyond remarkable. Her intelligence was beyond remarkable and everything. And,
you want me? I was going to say, do you want me to take over?
Yeah, hang on. I was trying to think. It's been a long day. So he was taking notes and everything about the specimen, and then after he took the notes and everything, he basically left and was wondering just how far this creature could go. And I can pass it on to Shadow now. He knows more about My Hero Academia, so he can switch it over better.
So yeah, we go to the aftermath of the fight between All Might and All for One, where these officers are already arresting All for One and then taking him to custody. What All for One believes that he's going to send where the other villains are. Well, apparently that's not the case. Where they took All for One to the company at, so we see two male that we just met, not Yaoyorozu's father, but the man who owns and also the other doctor were outside waiting for their new project to arrive so they could experiment or use this power this guy has, because they found interested of his power because everyone heard about the news about All Might was fighting in this powerful foe that no one actually seen before. So they were interested of it. When they arrived, those officers were actually not officers. They were, well, you could say guards or actual the company's force who only works for the company itself. So when they arrived, they got All for One out, still handcuffed, and All for One is a bit confused by this. He knows this is not the place that they were going to send him to lock away. No, this is different. So he sees two men right in front of him, and he could tell the man in all suit and tie is in charge. So he says, and he asks, who are you, and why did you bring me here? And this man said, you will be our test subject for experiment, but my name means nothing, and the secrets or whatever we have means nothing to you. It's classified. We saw how capable you are of your quirk, and we want to use you, not because who you are, just because of your power. So, you have a choice. Give us your power, or lock away for the rest of your life, or there's a third option, have a bullet in your head. But either way, you don't have a choice at the matter. You're badly damaged, and you're badly injured, and you can fight back, and you definitely cannot escape from that condition. So your only option is to be used as a puppet, a slave, like a good little puppy that you are. And All for One doesn't know what to say to that, and he's not wrong. He has no choice, and he did end up badly injured, and he did use too much of his quirk. So he chose to see how this goes. So he let the man in suit to take him where he's going to be experiment at. And we're going to move on the next day where, everyone signed on to move into the dorms. For those people who may not know, this takes place in season 3. For those people never aware of that. So, this takes place in season 3. Where Aizawa, pretty much scold on both Deku, Kirishima, Ida, Momo, and Todoroki for trying to rescue Bakugo. And he was about to plan a spell, but no, he just gave them a warning about getting everyone's trust again. And of course, basically, the scene from the actual show remained the same as canon. But after, the bedroom challenge competition goes out the same. And also that heartwarming, gut-wrenching punch where Sue expressed her feelings about what she said and how she feels. That goes out the same. But after that, we head into Mineta's room, and he's pissed because no one ever came to his room to see what he's got, because, let's be honest, no one even cares about Mineta, and nobody wants to know what he has in his room. So, Mineta, in his room, just minding his own business and a bit pissed off as usual until he sees something, but he doesn't want to know about it. But he just wanted off and go to sleep. So we move on to, well, you could say, no, actually, right, was the first time. So, yeah, when Mineta was asleep, where everyone else was asleep in that day, because it was a rough day for everyone, including for the character who risked their lives to say Bakugo, Mineta couldn't help it that he hearing something, and it just bothers him. So he gets up, goes through his window, like they have these what do you call it? You can step out of your door, out to your room, and have a fresh air outside while you're right next to your room. So he's looking looking around and see how nice it is at night until he hears that same sound, and he slowly turns around and sees a unknown creature that he never seen before. So he was about to scream, but the Xenomorph stopped him from doing it, and everything went black. So basically, you guys know who this creature is. Is Xenomorph captured Mineta. So yeah, we move on to the next day, but before that, we need to go a few hours earlier before that night when the Xenomorph kidnaps Mineta. So I leave that to Roadkilled to explain the outbreak. So take it away.
Alright, so basically, so what's happening is Dr. Groves and this other scientist, are experimenting on the particular specimen I was talking about. Well, as they were experimenting, what came on a CCTV footage was that of Carl Bishop Weyland. He was in a pyramid of some sort, and he diverted the power from the facility to the pyramid in order to open up and show its secrets. Because if anyone's an AVP fan, they know that there's such a thing as like Yaoyorozu pyramids and stuff. But well, when they did that, it put the power on, like, more or less it put it on backup power, emergency power, and well, it was just enough for that Xenomorph to get out. And Dr. Groves took off, leaving the scientist trapped in that room. The Xenomorph kills the scientist, jumps up into the vent, and after it gets out of the vent, it frees its siblings, and they go on a major infestation, like class 4, and the alarms go off. Everyone's freaking out. The security's called, and the security go into the holding cell where the Xenomorphs were. Well, when they opened up, a tail came down from the ceiling right out the door, impaling a guy through his mouth and out the back of his head, and yanks him in to the, like, basically whips him across the holding cell room. And then the Xenomorphs just rush out in droves, attacking all the security guards. And the specimen that I was talking about, the one that just killed the security guard by shoving his tail through his mouth, crawls on the ceiling, purposely avoiding the security as his siblings are going on a rampage. Well, this specimen, she gets into the vents again, gets closer to the queen's holding cell, kills everybody that gets in the way. And I mean, like, sneaking up behind them, ripping their throats out, disemboweling them, all that shit. Using what they call a head bite, which is when they take the inner jaw and going right to their skull. It was a bloody massacre. Well, when she gets up to the controls of the holding cell, she uses her inner jaw and pierces right through right through it, destroying it, disabling the whole, like, the thing that was more or less keeping the fucking restraints on the queen. Well, she gets out, and then after she gets out, the specimen heads into a room where it kills a couple androids while using speed and to its advantage. It rips the in the building, she took off with the specimen, every one of the specimen's siblings, and she went into, let's say, an abandoned building, like like an abandoned area right next to the facility, and she set up an entire hive there. She set up the hive and everything, and her children went out to find suitable hosts to drag back to the hive and impregnate them with a face hugger, so that way they can get strong. That way they can have a strong hive. And then I'll give this back to Shadow.
So yes, that's what happened earlier, a few hours after, that night when I explained about the dorms or whatever. That happened. And we're going to go back to the present time, but it's still night. But we're not going to be focusing on the dorms. No. We're at, the hives of where the Xenomorphs are at right now. And we see Mineta still out cold, and he wakes up. He realized that he thought it was just a dream until he fully awake. He realized what just happened, and he's stuck to whatever this thing is. He's feeling like a gooey saliva, whatever, and he is freaking out. He's having a panic attack. He's like, what the hell? Where the hell am I? And he sees all the eggs, aka face hugger's egg, and there's one of them right next to him. And that one is about to open, and Mineta is freaking out. He wants to get the hell out, but whatever the thing is sticking him is strong to do anything. And when the egg is fully open, these long these fingers climbing out of the egg, jumps in brute force, aim at Mineta's face while he is screaming. Well, the facehugger is, came to Mineta's face, and, Mineta is back to knocked out cold again. So, we move on the next day, where is, you can say the first day, everyone woke up from their dorms, and everyone realized, oh wait, we're not at home, we're moved into the dorm. So basically, it's just like a normal day. But there's one character who realized something, and that is Kaminari. He asked, hey, have you guys seen Mineta anywhere? Has not been out of his room recently. Have you guys even seen him? And Sarah was like, nope, haven't seen him. The last time we saw him, it was in his room. That's all we know. And Bakugo's like, like we give a damn about that damn grape shit looking motherfucker. And Ito's like, Bakugo, that is not how you treated your classmate. And Bakugo's like, shut up, Four Eyes. Jeez, already had them in the morning. And Kaminari's like, Luca's talking, you're the one who started shouting out. And Bakugo be like, what do you say, you little fucking Pikachu? You want to say that to my face? And Deku's like, Kachan, really, man? It's way too early. Shut up, damn nerd! And of course, and Momo's like, something never changed, does it? And Jiro's like, yep, never changed. And until someone says something, which is revealed to be, let's say, Sato. He says, guys, Mineta's not in his room. he's not even here at all. And everyone was so confused, like, wait, what do you mean? His window door has been open. So everyone, walks and rushes towards his room and find out that Sato wasn't kidding. He is gone and the window door is wide open. And everyone's so confused. Like, this is definitely not Mineta. One, he will always be in his room. Two, he would never leave something like that open. But when they went through, they realized that what Mineta's got. They felt uncomfortable. But the ladies feel like, my God, he is such a pervert. And I feel like Higaku would say, if I see him right now, I will beat the living shit out of him. And Kaminari is like, well, he's not here, so you might not get your chance. And Ida was like, if he's not here, then where is he? And then we go back to the hive again, when Mineta actually woke up again, and he realized what just happened, and he looks down, see the facehugger not moving. And Mineta thinks in his head, is it dead? Right after he asked that, he felt something ain't right. So I let Roadkill explain this one.
Alright, so as he's sitting there thinking about if it's dead, Mineta starts feeling this immense pain coming from his chest. You don't know what it is. It gets worse and worse, as if something's eating him from the inside out. As it becomes visible, something's pushed, looks like something's trying to push its way out of his chest. And then in one big move, immense amount of pain. Mineta feels an immense amount of pain as the chest buster bursts out of his chest, killing him right after. And this little chest buster falls down to the ground, and its first instinct is to slither into a hiding spot, so that way it can get the first few hours to grow up into a full-grown adult. And that's about it with that, and I'll give it back to Shadow.
Yes, and then we move on where everyone are still confused about. They still been searching for Mineta. They look everywhere, but they couldn't find him. So they wanted to tell Aizawa, but it will not look good if they tell Aizawa, and Aizawa will get irritated that it's great. He has to deal with this kind of shit again, but he doesn't want to. But they did not tell Aizawa, so they killed him themselves so they could find Mineta. So they couldn't find him anywhere. So Ida made a theory that he probably went down and visit his parents, hanging out with them, etc. And that's what they believe, so they okay, that makes a lot more sense, because where else he will go? So it would make sense. So they decided to just let him be. He will come back whenever he does. Who knows, he might want to stay night at his parents' place one last time. And that's pretty much what it is, but some people just don't give a fuck, but some people understand, even though he's a fucking pervert, but they do not know what happened to Mineta. They really don't. So basically, they just have just normal day in class for the rest of the day, but it did got boring here and there. So when it was nighttime, oh boy, their world would go upside down. So basically, everyone pretty much getting ready to go to bed. But the first thing the character will be focusing on the most will be, I would say, Hagakure. We go into her room while she's just being who she is as a girl, and until she hears something outside of her window door or whatever, and she is feeling uncomfortable. She thinks it probably is Mineta trying to pull a damn prank, or she thinks that Mineta is here by being a pervert again. So she goes out saying, Mineta, I swear to God, if that's you, I'm gonna... When she removes the curtain to see if it is Mineta, reveals to be a Xenomorph with Mineta's quirk. And she screams at the top of her lung that everyone freaking heard. Everyone busts out of their room and say, what the fuck is going on? And they hear a glass shattered, and Hagakure is trying to freaking run out, but a Xenomorph shoots out a black ball out of from the tip of the top of the tail, and it aims at Hagakure's hand, stick to the wall, and Hagakure trying to, remove it or whatever, but couldn't, but it caused her left hand to burn, felt and announced pain, and she couldn't do anything, but the Xenomorph just kept on going, and the first person who opens the door is, well, Sarah, and right after Sarah opens the door by saying, Hagakure, are you? And the Xenomorph used the blade from his tail to slice Sarah in, well, half. And his body fall into two parts, showing only, well, his guts, organs, his eyeballs, and his brain. And everyone saw that. The girls screaming from the top of their lung. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And Kaminari was the first one freaking vomit. And they were like, what the hell is that thing? And we see some of the classmates getting killed. The next person who got killed was Koda. Not that little boy, but the one who could communicate animals. He gets killed by getting decapitated with the tail. And Sato was about to go charge to fight back, but got his head ripped off by the Xenomorph by, using the head, rip off Sato's head. So, and who else about to die next? Well, he is planning. The Xenomorph is smart and intelligent because he needs to find a perfect host to take back. He's going after Momo. So the Xenomorph used the quirk to get Momo, which the Xenomorph did, but it actually caught the tail of Momo's hair. And she trying to, get out of the faster as I can, but she used her quirk, which it revealed to be let's just say, a kitchen knife that is easily cut the hair easily without a hesitation. So she got out of there alive, but her hair is now like short but a little bit longer. Let's say it's like almost similar to Jiro. Yeah, she did lost that kind of hair. So, and while the Xenomorph was about to go after Momo again, a explosion came right at the right side of the Xenomorph, which reveals to be Bakugo. Said, "You ruined my damn beauty sleep, you damn bastard!" And we see the Xenomorph, screaming pain by this attack, but it did cause minor injury by fucked up the head. So pretty much the head exploded like a half of the head. And the Xenomorph died where the Xenomorph's blood dripping down out of it, the head, made a steam of the ground. And everyone are just lost for words, and they are so confused like what the hell is going on here? Why this thing has similar to Mineta's quirk? And the Kaminari realize that this cannot be. So he looks at Mina by asking, "Hey, Ashino, I know this is not a good time, but is that the one of those aliens from the movie that you say you want to name yourself, basically, aka the Alien Queen, but Miss Midnight didn't like it?" And I can't talk. Ashino said, "Yeah, but how can this be? I thought they were just fake, like fictional creatures or whatever, to scare people off." Until Roadkilled, take it away.
Alright, so the moment she says that, right before she can even finish her sentence, a pointed tail impaled through her chest, coming from her, it started from her chest, from her back, went out her chest, and lifted her up. And everyone was shocked and horrified seeing that they couldn't do anything. And there was another Xenomorph. And as it was up on the ceiling, and it turned her so that way it pulled her in and turned her so she was facing it. And the last thing she saw was an inner jaw coming at her, puncturing right through her skull, killing her. And it threw her into the wall, and her body slumped onto the ground as the Xenomorph let out a major shriek. And that brought out another 4 Xenomorphs.
And then Kaminari says, right after the death of Asho, by seeing that, and he says, what that tongue do? And Jill just slaps him in the back of the head like, really? That's the one thing that coming out of your mouth? And Kaminari was like, I'm sorry! I just couldn't help myself! And Kirishima's like, that's not the time to make Joe, because there's more of those motherfuckers! And it's like, what the hell are we about to do? Because I don't know if they have quirks, but they look normal, says Kaminari. And Kirishima's like, well, if they're normal, then we might as well kill them. And one of the Xenomorphs, keep this in mind, there are 5 of them. One of them comes down, which is the one that killed Ashino. Kirishima, hardening his core, ready to go to attack the Xenomorph. He rushed in, and the Xenomorph just roars at Kirishima. Kirishima just, came in a spear on the Xenomorph. And the Kirishima was on top of the Xenomorph by beating the shit out of him the hardest it can, fast as it can, to knock this dead creature out. But until a dick move by the Xenomorph. the Xenomorph use, well, the same thing now how the Xenomorph killed Mina. Aiming right at the, how I want this, right after the right side of Kirishima's eye socket, killing him instantly. Kirishima's body falls to the ground, lightless. And then the Xenomorph goes on top of Kirishima, looks at the other prey, and roars of the victory of the victory of of the killer's prey. And everyone are shitting bricks. So they just run their fucking ass until, well, some of them gets killed. Like, I don't know. Who? Oh, did not get killed yet. Oh, while they're back to the actual living room, one of the Xenomorph uses tail to wrap around and yank Sue, draw them back while to, rip Sue to pieces, limb for limb. And Sue is screaming for help, and Araka was about to go and help her, but Bakugo was holding her back and tell her, "No, don't! If you go there, you'll be dead already! She's already dead!" And Araka's like, "Sue!" And we hear Sue screaming in pain, screaming for help, crying for help. And she calls out, Izuku calls out these names. Ochako, Midoriya, help! And they could do nothing, but they had to leave and let her die. While they came to the living room, everyone just left for words. Uraraka is just fall down on her knees, crying that why is this happening? Then Aizawa comes in the door, is like, what the hell is going on? It's like 2 in the fucking morning. And Ida explained the situation. There's something happened in the top floor. And Aizawa was like, what the hell is going on right now? And we see on top of the roof melting, and 2 or 3 Xenomorph falls off, and they just roar at them. And Aizawa was like, what the fuck? And Aizawa tells the classmates to go on and head down to the Class 1B door and stay there, and also contact for more pros to get here. And they do exactly as that, and they just storms out of the door and head down to Class 1B, and not looking back, while Aizawa is fighting these Xenomorphs on his own. Well, we all know how that's gonna turn out. So, when they arrive at the Class 1B dorms, they're all catching their breath, and everyone are freaking the fuck out. They don't know what the hell's going on, and why are these aliens here? And so Momo is telling them to calm down. We're here. We're gonna contact the pros, and we're gonna get this settled, and all this will be over. And Kamino was like, good, because I really, really want to get some sleep after this. And Kamino goes to the door and open it, and their face went fucking pure white. They see more Xenomorph. And they see, well, you can see a Xenomorph holding a dead body of Kendo by ripping off the head, and that the Xenomorph was looking at the Class 1A students, while the others are actually staring at them, and they see Tetsu on the floor getting face hug. And then you could say Kamino just closed the door slowly, and yeah, let's not go in there. And until Xenomorph busts through out that damn window, and we're like, oh shit, let's get the fuck out of here. And they all run like hell. And keep this in mind, these Xenomorphs are fast as fuck. But when one of the Xenomorphs was this close getting Kaminari, a blood shoots out of nowhere, hit the Xenomorph, which it reveals to be Flare King. And he asks the kids, are they alright? And they say, yeah, we are. And he realizes that none of his students are there. And he asks, where are they? And one of them tells them, which is Jiro, tells them that they're all dead by those creatures. And Flare King was enraged, so he's wanted to kill them all, and he tells the rest of the student to get inside the UA now. And then later on, they hear another teacher, which is revealed to be Miss Midnight, tell them, do not go in there, because there's some of those creatures in there as well. And everyone was confused, and Deku was like, then where should we go? Like, there's nowhere else to get the hell out of here. And Miss Midnight is like, there has pretty much the only way to get the hell out of her safety, Momo came to a solution that they need to go down her place, her house. Her place is like, pretty much, wait, is that season? No, wait, never mind. I thought that was in season, I thought some of the characters who went Yaoyorozu's house, but no, that's in like somewhere in the season 3, but that's not gonna happen. So pretty much, Momo asserts that everyone heads down to her house because it's the only place has more space, more rooms for everyone to be in. So they decided to go there, but they're gonna walk or run all the way down there with those things are after them. And Jiro's like, well, there's one thing we could do, and it might against the law. And Ida was like, went against this, but Bakugo was like, Forai, shut the fuck up. This is not the time. We're in a motherfucking crisis here. Now, what is your plan? And Jiro's like, I need a car, like a vehicle or whatever. Like, why we need a vehicle? So we could get to her house, dingus. So pretty much let's say Midnight has a key to her vehicle. So she gave it to Jiro. And Midnight tells Jiro, make sure my car stays safe. And Jiro's like, can I make any promises? So, yeah. And, no, sorry. And they head down to find Midnight's vehicle, where it reveals to be, well, something that nobody thought that would fit Midnight's character. Seems out of character, but no question it. Which it reveals to be, well, you could say a van that could carry more than 3 or 5 people. And the van design is clean, not like your old raggedy ass van. It's clean, and it does have good engines or whatever, but it does have something that does fit Midnight's character. You can say some weird kinky shit that she has in there. So some of them just throws all that shit out because fuck that. And they drove off, and the teachers will pretty much stay behind and deal with the Xenomorphs, which, well, spoiler alert, they, well, didn't make it. And some of the classmates, some of the teachers could have survived, which I'm not going to say who. I honestly do not know who could survive, so I'm not going to say anything. So, pretty much, while Jiro is on the wheel, and everyone see some of the outbreaks. There are some xenomorph on the roof, some xenomorph on the street. There's some xenomorphs killing the humans, and there's some universe are taking them as a hostage for taking the hive. So everyone are just they're just like speeding like hell, like non-stop. So pretty much they actually feel bad that they can't do nothing about it, and they all need to know this simple question. Since no one ever seen the alien movies except Kaminari and Ashino, they know it, but Ashino is dead, so Kaminari is the only one who knows. So they need an explanation for this. Like, how can this be real if the Xenomorph are actually here and they thought it's just the fictional characters? So, yeah, so they asked Kaminari, what does he know about these Xenomorphs? So I leave that to Roadkill to explain what these Xenomorphs are, where they're from, where their abilities are, and how do they make more of these Xenomorphs. So I'll leave that to Roadkill.
Basically, just more or less, the xenomorphs are a parasitic species that they found out that fucking God, I can't think of the name. My mind's at a blank. Fucking more or less, they copy the physical attributes of their host. So basically, find out that the fucking xenomorphs are getting the ability, the quirks of people and using them to their advantage, and they're becoming even more dangerous the more people they're getting and impregnating, because I'm pretty sure an entire hive of xenomorphs is not a good thing when they have a shit ton of quirks, especially like flame quirks and shit. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say for that.
So basically, Deku, like, damn, I wish I had my notebook. I could write all this down. But the real question is, why are they here on this planet? I don't get it. And Kaminari is like, well, they're from another planet called Xenomorph Prime. But if I can remember correctly, why they're here, it's probably because they were sent here, or they actually aboard one of the ships meant to come back here, but it crashed in another location, and somehow, some way, these companies found them and took them and used for. I don't know why they want to use this anymore, if that's the real question. So, if these aliens, these Xenomorphs are real, that means the company itself is here in Japan. But why here in Japan? I mean, I understand why in America, but why Japan? And so they honestly don't have the answer why here in Japan. Why are they real? Why are they here in the first place? So Momo, we were like a lot of questions that we need to answer, but right now we need some help, and we need some rest because it's been a long damn night, and we lost so many in one damn night. And then Aoyama says, "At least we know what happened to Mineta. Now we know. I know it's too soon, but we were so blinded that we didn't even notice. We didn't know." And then let me think. And Dago says, "It's not our fault, Aoyama. None of us did. We lost so many. They died right in front of us. Hagakure, Mineta, Sero, Sato, Koda, Ashido, Kirishima, and now Sue, Aizawa, All Might. They're all gone. Just that quick. How?" And Dago start to tear up because why does this happen? First they deal with All for One, and now this? This is too much for Deku. All that training, all that effort to get this power, and now it's just all the training they've been through, which is a bunch of waste. And for what? For this outbreak because a fictional creature somehow exists? That doesn't make any sense. That's what Deku has thought of to himself. He doesn't want to believe this. He thinks if he does go to sleep, all this is just a dream. If he wakes up, everything will be back to normal. It has to be a dream. This cannot be real. This is just have to be a nightmare. But when they arrived at Momo's house and they see how her house is, they were shocked. Well, see how rich that Momo is, and they were not expecting how good the house is. But when they got into Momo's house, Momo realized that her parents are not home, and that does worry her. None of that actually worried the classmate of their parents, if they are okay, or they were killed, or getting taken away. They do not know. But right now, they cannot think any of that right now. They need some time to rest. They need to recover after all of this just happened almost all night. So, Momo gave a toy where the rooms at, because they have a lot of freaking rooms, for, okay, how many that we got? I'm trying to recap. So we got Deku, Uraraka, Bakugo, Todoroki, Aoyama, Ida, Momo, Jiro, and I'm missing someone. Oh, I'm not missing someone. And then we have like 8 or 9 survivors. But yeah, pretty much 8 or 9 of them who, oh wait, Tokoyami, that's 9. I was right. So 9. So pretty much they have, let's say the Yaoyorozu family have 20 rooms, and only 9 people have their own separate. So everyone were just, some of them couldn't sleep, some of them were just out, some of them were crying, some of them are just don't know what to say or put this all together. So it's just not a good day. Not a good night, actually. So we move on to the next day, which is the aftermath. And it's morning time. And we see Deku waking up. And he sits up from the bed that he's sleeping. And he says, "Oh, what a dream. That was the worst nightmare I ever had. I thought all that was real." And he wakes up and realizes, wait, this isn't my room. And he opens the door and he realizes, oh, oh my, no. This is not a dream. It's all real. All that was real. Whoa, no, 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 no. No. And Deku heads down the kitchen where everyone are up having breakfast or whatever, and they still down and they still hearing the news about these monstrosity outbreaks. And after that, these monsters are now into hiding after that. So basically, the Xenomorph are more traveling at night than the daytime. So basically, ever since that night, everyone are going crazy by getting every single supply to defend themselves, make sure they have every food and water for themselves so they can survive, and none of that, they do not know how to kill it. And secondly, they do not know the Xenomorph than the Class 1A. So basically, they're kind of fucked. So they do not know where these creatures come from. We don't know where they're from. Why are they here? None of that. These Xenomorphs could have everybody's quirks that they have. The other people who have the quirks. So basically, that's what is all going on. And they have no word to say. It's just too much for them. But Deku wants, want to get all the answers. So pretty much, they need to come on the plan about, they need to get to the company to get all the answers they need and want. But the real question is, where's the location? They don't know where it's at. So they have to look it up to find where it is. And the location where Momo is at, the company is, let's say, how I would say this. Since it's already, let's say it's already 10 in the morning, and the company is, let's say, let's say 2 days ahead. So we're 2 days of driving to get there. So pretty much, they're gonna need a lot of gas, a bunch of food supplies, and drink supplies to get there. And also, they have to be careful with other people around because now there's been news going on that the humans are killing each other because, trying to survive. So pretty much they had to be on the lookout for that as well. Xenomorphs are terrified at the night, but at daytime, the humans are also terrified a little. So basically, they had to be careful where they're going. But Deku wants to go like now, but everyone else want to wait. They just got up, and they just don't want to go right now. They want to wait. And so pretty much Deku just, just go on and just eat his breakfast And while it was at, I would say, um, 4 hours had passed, and everyone are getting ready. Thank God that Yaoyorozu family have pretty much a lot of freaking supplies, which is tons of gas, foods. So pretty much they already got that shit covered. So they don't have to worry about that. But the real question is, they need to take some turns who will drive. The only four people who could drive is Ida, Momo, Jiro, and Bakugo. Since Jiro drove the last time, Bakugo would take over the wheel. So pretty much everything is completely silent. No one even spoke a word because it's not a good time. They're still healing of the process what just happened last night. And they have no words or even talk about at this point. So they arrive at this hotel which is revealed at nighttime. So since it's already at night and they have nowhere else to sleep, and a van is not a good, comfortable place to sleep in. So basically, this is where we get one of the character will end up being killed at the hotel. So pretty much everyone found a place to sleep in and to, so pretty much everyone have their own hotel rooms, but they have like 2 bedrooms. So pretty much you say there's only 9. So pretty much that means 2, 4, 6. So pretty much 2 students will have to share hotel rooms, but one of them had to be on by themselves. Have the hotel room by themselves, which is revealed to be Ida by himself. And we focus it on Ida, and while he's got out of the shower and ready heads down to bed. Excuse me. And then while he was ready to get in the bed, he hears that familiar sound before, and he does not like this. And Ida hides and not make any sound and not make any sudden move until while the Xenomorph is out of the way, gone, Ida finally catches his breath until, well, I'll let Roadkilled take over how this turns out for Ida. Roadkill, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. So just to clarify, we're doing a gruesome death scene, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh boy.
Take over.
Alright, so fuck it. So here. I'm thinking. Alright, so I feel like the Xenomorph would slowly creep up behind Ida and sever his left Achilles tendon. So his mobility has been very much limited. So Ida tries to get away after noticing the Xenomorph's there. Well, the Xenomorph then severs the other tendon in a quick motion, and Ida falls to the ground. He can no longer walk. The Xenomorph slowly creeps up on him, grabs him by the head, lifts him up, grabs his throat, and rips it right out, blood pooling everywhere. And he drops the lifeless head to the floor and lets out a massive shriek, revealing its victory.
And then everyone, for the rest who have their own hotel rooms, they all hear it. And they were like, oh, hell no, we got to get the fuck out of here. They're here. And they were asking, where the hell are they coming from? Sure, not from us. Better not. God, I hope everyone's alright. The only person I have his room by his. The only person I have the room, hotel room by himself is. Oh no. And that is from Deku's point of view. So he comes out the room, out of the hotel room, and he sees not undead, the dead corpse of Ida, and then and Deku rush into Ida, and he says, Ida, say something. And Deku moves Ida's body and sees Ida's face pale, so pale, his eyes are just all black, and sees where the blood is coming from. Ida's throat was ripped badly, and Deku falls back, and he shouts like, huh, Ida? And then a friggin' Xenomorph is on top on the vehicle of, the Class 1A's vehicles. It shrieks, and Deku is shocked and horror. He couldn't get up or move because fear got to him. Before the Xenomorph was about to jump, a fire came out of nowhere, burns the hell out of that Xenomorph, and the Xenomorph falls off the top of the vehicle and burns in hell. And the Xenomorph screaming in pain of the fire, and Deku turned his right side and see Todoroki, and Todoroki was like, Midoriya, are you alright? And Deku was like, yeah, thanks, Todoroki. Oh, you saved my neck. Like, don't mention it. And he sees Ida's dead body, and then Todoroki's like, oh my god, Ida. And then they hear more Xenomorph from the far distance of the hotel, and saying more people getting killed, and some people are getting taken out, and all the students come out of the dorm. They were like, we gotta get the hell out of here now. So without hesitation, Momo gives Bakugo the key, and Bakugo caught it, and he said, everyone get in the damn van. And when everyone got in without a second thought, Bakugo honks the car, and then one of the Xenomorph was got in the front of the window about to attack Bakugo, but Aoyama shoots a laser beam at the Xenomorph's face, killing it instantly, and Bakugo's like, thanks, you twerp. And Aoyama's like, that's just disgusting, ugh. And then everyone Bakugo just books it with everyone inside, and they just like, what the fuck? Come on, we can't even catch a break. And Commodore's like, they usually don't capture so much host. They usually don't. And Jiro was like, what do you mean? They usually capture like less hoes, but now they just capture whatever they could find. Like, what is the queen even up to? And And then Bakugo's like, who cares? Our goal is to head down the damn company and find our goddamn answer so we can end this damn shindig. And then we see Aoyama crouched down and hiding his face, and in his mind he's like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, it's all my fault, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. And we honestly do not know why he says that to his mind, but we will find out eventually. So they drove non-stop, but Bakugo led Momo to take place. They pretty much do this like non-stop where everyone gets to rest in the van. So when they arrived, the location reveals that they're here at the company. So where everyone, which is Jiro, is in the wheel, she tells them, hey guys, wake up, we're here. And everyone wakes up like, huh? We're here? Jeez. And then when they arrive at the location, Bakugo was like, finally we could get our damn answer that we wanted. Now, who owns this damn company? And Kaminari said, like, honestly, no, I don't know. And Bakugo's like, what do you mean you don't know? You should know some of these shit. And Kaminari's like, hey, I only know about the Xenomorph thing. I do not know jack shit about the company. All I know is just about the Xenomorph, how they are, where they came from. That's all I know. So, I hope there could be a survivor in there to give us a question. I don't know. So, Bakugo's like, you're fucking useless. And Kaminari's like, hey, at least I try to help. And Deku's like, yeah, Kachan, I mean, he did warn us about how to kill those Xenomorph. If it wasn't for you and Todoroki, we wouldn't have got here this far. And Momo was like, well, we might as well use these. And Deku's like, what do you mean? She pulls out flamethrowers. And Deku was like, you have flamethrowers? And Baku's like, you have to tell me, for the past 2 days of driving, every time we come across these damn creatures, me and freaking half and half use our power to kill those things, and you had those damn things the entire time? And Yaoyorozu is like, yeah, I honestly forgot all about them. Literally, I really did forgot all about them. And that was my fault, and I blame myself. If we had used that, Ida would still be alive right now. I blame myself for that. And Barker's like, yeah, you should. Because his blood is now in your hands. And Baku's like, and Deku's like, Kachan! And Yaoyorozu's like, no, Midoriya, he's right. And everything is completely silent, and Momo's like, come on, grab these flamethrowers and let's just go on in and get our answers. And everyone just does as that, grab the flamethrower, and go ahead and, go inside to head down to inside the company, but the front door of the company is already open because, well, the outbreak. So I led Hollow to go, not Hollow, I hate myself, Roadkill, to, explain how, how the company end up from the inside, after the outbreak, etc. So I'll let Roadkill explain while the MHA character are seeing the chaotic inside.
So I'm sorry. I
The MHA characters are at the company, and they're about to go inside, and they're about to see the how the company been in chaos since the Xenomorph did on Outbreak.
So the gore and shit. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. It's been a long. Like it's fucking like almost midnight here. It is midnight. But anyway, yeah. Fucking. So more or less, when they go in, they're horrified at the sight. There's dead bodies everywhere. There's some people that still have face huggers on their faces because it was pretty much new. Like they just got face hugged. There's like guts everywhere. Fucking like a guy over in the corner has like his fucking jaw ripped off. It's just a bloodbath. Like you can't step anywhere without there being blood. That's how bad it is. As you're moving down, it just gets more and more apparent that there's like no life there anymore. Like if anyone survived, they're gone. They're not there at the moment. They're just gone because of how bad because the situation. Like there's no life, no sign of life anywhere. Everyone's just dead, and it just gets worse as they're going in. Because as they're going more and more towards the site of the incident where they first broke out, it just gets more worse because that's where most of the people were congealed around during the outbreak because the guards and stuff had to get there. So when they got to where they broke out, bodies just piled up everywhere, like blood, like basically more or less is near the ankle, like almost ankle deep. That's how bloody it is, which is very bloody if you take in consideration how big Weyland-Yutani facilities are. It's just a major mess. It like they can't believe the sight of it. Like they're speechless. They can't, like when they got to that part, they couldn't even move. They were so speechless at the sight of such butchery. They couldn't believe something could do this to a bunch of highly trained people who were trained to deal with that stuff. And like I said, they were speechless. They couldn't say anything for minutes. Even Bakugo at this point was speechless. And now I feel like Bakugo like eventually would break the silence, which I will hand that over to Shadow.
Yeah, like Roadkilled said, Bakugo will be completely speechless until he breaks the silence. He'd be like, "What the fuck? This is... God damn, this is just... fuck." And Jiro's like, "This is just too much. These people, they didn't deserve none of this. There has to be a survivor here somewhere." Like, and Momo was like, asking like, "Okay, well, what's the plan here?" And Deku trying to put all this together was like, okay. Let's split up. Let's split up into 2 teams. And we gotta be back here, the same spot. Don't go too far. If you see any Xenomorph, we still have these flamethrowers. But if we're too afraid to take them out, we're just gonna retreat or find somewhere to hide. So, okay, Yaoyorozu, Jiro, Tokiyami, Kaminari, Aoyama, Uraraka, Kachan, you're with me. And Baku's like, "Why do I have to go with you?" At first, like, "Who put you in charge?" And Deku's like, "Kachan, this is not the fucking time here." "No, it is perfect time. Who put you in charge in this situation?" He's like, hello? Like, I was supposed to be, like, I don't know, the class representative before I give that to Ida? So, apparently, I could be the leader. If Ida was alive, he'd probably let me be in charge. And Momo was like, "He's not wrong, Bakugo. So, it makes sense. Plus, he's a lot more smarter and show leadership than any of us combined. Plus, you're not a good leader tied to us. I mean, do you really think that any one of us want to follow your lead? You're probably going to get us all killed. And Bakugo was like, oh yeah, that telling me that I'll lead everyone to die. Luke was talking. You listen to Shitty Hair and Half and Half to come rescue me, and when y'all risk y'all life, and then they felt a fucking gut punch by hearing that, and Deku just freaking punches Bakugo right into the face, and Bakugo is just completely shocked. Everyone was shocked, like, Then Deku is like, you damn idiot! We risk our life because we care about you, damn it! We care about you because we want you to come back home. We know you didn't want to join the League of Villains because we know you want to become a freaking pro hero. Don't act like don't you dare say that you didn't need our help. We came on all free will, damn it. So you shut the fuck up and let's get this shit over with. Find in the hell what the hell's going on and let's fucking go home. Everyone else died. Okay? So, let's get this shit over with. And Deku just walks off and everyone just completely silence until Jiro said, seriously, is your goal to push everyone away? And then Momo and Jiro go their separate ways. Kaminari, Tokiyami, and Araka and Aoyama, they all just go separate ways to find anywhere to, find any survivors or find anything they could find that could be useful or find something they could have the answer they're seeking. So, apparently, how should I want this to go? So, pretty much, there's two things we're going to go over. Well, actually, three. No, really? Yeah, 3 people that we should go over. The first one is Deku and Bakugo, Momo and Jiro, and Aoyama and Uraraka. But first, we'll be focusing on Momo and Jiro. So, they just, looking around to find anything they could find, or find something that had the answers, or find any survivors. But Jiro is still pissed off about what Bakugo said. Momo tried to, calm herself down, but Jiro is just don't want to hear it. She's want to get this shit over with and go home and get this shit over with, or find a way to find a way to kill these damn things once and for all. So they came across a room which is in freaking chaotic, blood and gore and violence, all that stuff, until they hear the loud bang, and they all got their flamethrower prepared to fire. But when the door freaking busts open, they hear someone say, "Wait, don't shoot, please." And the person comes out of the shadow, and we see a man has some messed up bruises and cut marks, but messed up clothes or whatever. But he's okay, but just a little bit cuts and bruises. And Momo lowers her flamethrowers down, and she says, "Papa?" And which reveals to be Yaoyorozu's father. And Mr. Yaoyorozu is like, "Momo? Is that you?" She dropped her flamethrower, rushing to her father and hug her. She cries that her father is okay, he's alive, and Yaoyorozu's father was happy to see her, and he's like, "Oh, it's good to see you again, my daughter. Why are you here?" And Yaoyorozu was, and Mama was like, "I was asking the same thing. Why are you? How are you here?" And yeah, Mr. Yaoyorozu was like, "Is complicated." And Yaoyorozu, Mama was like, "Well, you can explain all that now when my friends and I regroup." And then Jiro picks up her flamethrowers, and both Momo and Jiro and Mr. Yaoyorozu head back to regroup with the others. And then we focusing on um, Aoyama and Uraraka, where they are just, completely silent and have no words to say. And Aoyama keep just cannot take this anymore. He had to tell them, but since Uraraka is here, he will tell her if she could understand, if she doesn't get mad. So Aoyama turns at Uraraka and tell her, "Hey, Uraraka, there's something I want to say, and please promise me you won't get mad at what I have to tell you." And Uraraka was confused, like, "Okay, but why do you say that?" And Aoyama says he has to tell the truth about everything, and he means everything. And Uraraka's like, "Okay." And then he says, "It's my fault for," before he cuts off, um, two Xenomorph appear behind both Aoyama and Uraraka. They grabbed both of them and took them away, and they were screaming, but no one else heard them screaming for help. So they just got yeeted out of the way without no one else noticed. So we go and focus on uh, Deku and Bakugo. Deku and Bakugo, they both look in their location where Deku looks on his right side and where Bakugo looking in his left side, not looking straight ahead or looking or face to face or speaking up. And then Bakugo felt like an asshole, and Deku's still pissed off, and Bakugo broke the sign by saying that he apologized for what he said, and even though he did not want anyone to help, and he felt like an asshole to everyone, and he did say, and he admitted what he said, that pretty much about what Jared said, that he is pushing everyone away because he only cares about himself, and he goes on how he feels about why he's being the way he is. And after he gets done saying that he apologized, Deku was going to say Kacha, but he hears another sound. He hears a sound from, on Deku's right side. They pull out their flamethrower, and Deku goes closer to it. It's like this small box container with a lid to go up and down. And Bakugo was like, backing Deku up if it is one of them, or a face hugger, or something, or a chest breaker or whatever. And while he's slowly opening it, and Bakugo aims the flamethrower, but he lowers it down, and Deku sees a little girl with red eye, messed up shirt, like a hospital robe, and her hair is all greasy silver, greasy gray hair, and a horn on the right side of her forehead, which reveals to be Eri. And she is scared, and Deku looks at Bakugo and say, "It's a kid." And Bakugo's like, "Why in the hell the little girl isn't even here? That doesn't make no sense." And Deku was about to go reach the girl, but the little girl just, flinched by being scared. And Deku's like, "It's okay. We're here. We're here to help you. We won't hurt you." And Eri screams like, "Go away. You're gonna draw more of those here." More of them? Those black monsters. And and Bakugo's like, "Xenomorph? They're here?" And Deku looks back to the little girl and says, "We won't hurt you. Come with us. We're planning to get out of here." And Eri comes out of there slowly while Deku, you know, puts they have these things what they call it so they can wrap around the flamethrowers or whatever. So while Deku does that, he picks up the little girl, and Deku could ask the little girl what's her name, and the little girl said, "I'm Eri," and Deku says, "I'm Izuku Midoriya, and this is my friend Kachan or Katsuki Bakugo." And Eri was like, "Izuku and Katsuki?" And Bakugo was like, "Yeah, just call me Kachan and call this one Deku." Kachan and Deku? Why are y'all here? And Deku's like, "We're here to find some answer that we needed. So, since you're the one we found, so we're gonna head back with our other group." And Eri's like, "Other group?" And Deku's like, "Yeah." So, pretty much, Deku and Bakugo take Eri to meet up with the other group, which they did. So, we see Tokiyami and Kaminari are the first person to return, and Kaminari's like, "I hope the others are okay. I hope we actually found something. I hope they found something, because we couldn't find jack shit." And Kaminari and Tokiyami was like, "Yep, I hope that has some good lucks going on." And we see Yaoyorozu and Jiro came back with a survivor, and Kaminari's like, "You found a survivor?" And Jiro's like, "Yeah, this is Yaoyorozu's father." And this shocked both Tokiyami and Kaminari. Like, what? What? They're so confused. And um, so pretty much, so all they're waiting is just Deku, Bakugo, Uraka, and Aoyama. And they see Deku and Bakugo with a little girl, and Kaminari was like, "Another survivor? But she's a kid." Even Mr. Yaoyorozu like, "I don't remember a kid being here." And Deku looking at Yaoyorozu is like, "So you found a survivor as well?" And Yaoyorozu was like, "Yeah, this is my father." And then Bakugo was like, "Where's the other two? They're not here?" Say, "I guess not." And Eri says, "The monster part got them." And they're all shocked by hearing it, like, "Wait, they're here?" No, they cannot. And Mr. Yaoyorozu is like, "They probably, there's a security camera that's still active, so I can show you guys what happened to them." And so they head down to security office where the camera recording is at. So they over review to find the footages of their lost two friends, and they found it, but they got taken by the Xenomorphs. So, yeah. So, pretty much, um, uh, their goal is to find Uraraka and, um, Aoyama. So, but before they do, they need a specific answer from Yaoyorozu's father. So Yaoyorozu asks, Papa, we need to know, why are you here, and why are these creatures even existed? Why are they here? So I'll pass this to Roadkill so he can explain. So pretty much Yaoyorozu's father will explain all the details. So I'll let that to Roadkill to explain it.
Alright, so he's gonna. So what he says is he explains to her that the Xenomorphs were there because him and Bishop and Carl Bishop Weyland, that's all the main heads were taking. We basically took Xenomorph eggs, brought them back into the facility, and they were using humans as hosts, like the workers, people that worked there and were under contract and everything, were basically being given to these face huggers to impregnate, and then when when the chest busters came out, they would take the specimens and they would restrain them and wait, and when they're fully grown, which is within the span of like a few hours, they immediately start would experiment on the Xenomorph so that way they learn more about them, and they continue doing this over a long period of time, and Yaoyorozu's father said that he's lost count on how many innocent humans he sacrificed to continue these experiments, which would put Yaoyorozu and like everyone would be in awe. Like it would be like, how can another human do this to other humans? Like how can you do this to someone? And I feel like someone would snap. Probably. And now I'm gonna give it to Shadow to do the aftermath after he tells everybody.
And everyone are just completely shocked by hearing this. Bakugo is the only one who felt the rage building up of his heart, and Bakugo screams out by saying, "So you telling me you use all those people for fucking experiments? To what end? To what end?" He grabs Mr. Yaoyorozu's shirt, and Mr. Yaoyorozu screams and saying, "Because we're afraid, damn it, because we're scared, because if all the villains were taken out and there was no villains, what would happen to the heroes?" And Bakugo would be like, "The fuck do you mean? We fear that one day if all the villains are wiped out, we fear that some of the heroes might turn evil, turn against us, so we have to be prepared for the outcome. That's the reason why we use these damn Xenomorph for a fucking experiment. So we could use it for a weapon to protect the human race. But we were wrong. We were wrong." And none of that. I just found out the boss himself brought that villain that All Might defeated. And Deco's like, "Wait, All For One? He's here?" "Yes, they use it for an experiment project for our secret weapon that we created. We created this alien to only communicate with humans, but we honestly haven't tested out yet. It's still locked down. We call it Project King." "Project King? What are you saying?" Kaminari replied. since we have the Queen Alien herself, we actually created something of our own. We created a Xenomorph King to only give us our command. So when I found out that this king had the villain's quirk, which is revealed to be the quirk of All for One. So it's still locked down right now. And Bakugo was like, so you and your damn project and all this and that, other people working here, y'all just playing God by creating a creature that's something you do not know, that it can't be controlled? You sick me. Why should I just blow you to have the kingdom come right here, right now? And Momo stopped Bakugo by trying to doing that, and Bakugo, Momo pushed Bakugo aside slowly, her eyes closing, and Momo, Mr. Yaoyorozu was like, look, Momo, I know I haven't told you all of this, and I'm sorry. Please, you have to forgive me. I had to do it. I need the money, or if we don't, we're screwed. And Mom was like, we have all the money we had. We had everything. You were blinded with greed. I know, I'm sorry, I'm a shameful father. Please forgive me. And Mom was like, I'm gonna regret doing this. But it is the right thing to do. And everyone confused. And Momo used her quirk to summon a katana blade. And everyone just, their eyes are wide. Even Mr. Yaoyorozu actually shocked. And he says, Momo. And Momo grabs the hilt and had it holding like a position. And she said, sorry, father, but I'll see you in hell. And Mr. Yaoyorozu, like, wait, Momo, wait! And Momo, decapitate her father, killing her. I mean, killing him instantly. Also, I'm sorry about that sound, by the way. So, and everyone was just lost for words, and Deckard did have to hide Eri from that horror. So, yeah. And Bakugo was like, I, huh. They know you got some balls of steals, but jeez, I wouldn't even go that far. And Momo dropped the sword, falls to her knee, and start crying that she actually did that without a hesitation. This outbreak just changed her, changed everyone who they are, and it's just too much. And then later on, they found something, a key, which a place that didn't know. So Deku picks up the key while holding Eri, and it says something, but I can't tell because of the blood covered. So they both head down while Momo is stay behind, but Joe tells Momo to come on, let's go. And Momo was like, I'll be right there. And the key that Deku found the door to unlock reveals to be another location, a place that has not been turned into chaos. The place is all clean and it has been spotted. It has pretty much have everything this guy have. So pretty much it reveals to be the owner of the company. It's actually his private office for him to live in. Has the office is like this huge, like almost a house. So basically, it has kitchen, bathrooms, bedroom, etc. You freaking name it. So pretty much, and then when they all just checking the area and everything's clear, then later on they found out that um there's underground tunnels, which is where the Xenomorphs are at. That means they are up top of the hive underground. So pretty much the hive are underground while they are on top of it. So pretty much it makes sense where the Xenomorphs are at. Because if they're going to have a band in place and they want to be closer to when it all began, so pretty much the hive has to be that much big from the company towards the abandoned house. That means the abandoned house is where the queen is at. So pretty much that's where Uraraka and Aoyama is at this point. So everything was surreal and is clean of the place, and not only that, Kaminari tests out the shower, and this place still has power, and all that, it still has hot water, and he is happy, and he tells everyone, "Hey, yo, this place has hot water. So I know this is not a good time, but I think we deserve it because after we find out all the answers, I think it's time for us having a good shower. You know, be clean and some of the blood that we have right now, because it's been past 2 days since we had a shower, so we might as well get some good shower." So everyone agrees that everyone have their own showers. Yeah, I'm gonna rephrase what I said. There's more than one shower. So first, the ladies, no, the first are the guys, have their showers, and the last two people who had the shower was Jiro and Momo. But before that, Jiro wanted to see Kaminari in her room because she feels like after all this, they deserve this. And Kaminari lost for words, so he went down to the room and waited for Jiro to come out of the shower, because this is gonna be the first time that he actually getting laid. So yeah, but while he's just sitting in the bed, laying down, waiting for Jiro, something is crawling towards the bed, and Kamina doesn't feel it because it's not even got to him yet. And while he turns around, a facehugger jumps to his face and got him down. And while Jiro got out of the shower and about to head down to the room, and she hear a sound of a growl, and she turns around, sees nothing. She doesn't see anything. There's no, like, a ceiling or the air vent or whatever. Then she thinks is in her head. She's been a stressful day. but at least she gonna spend some time with Kaminari in bed. But until that, the one when she stepped 1 foot, a Xenomorph comes out of nowhere. But this Xenomorph isn't invisible. This visible Xenomorph gutting Jiro. Cutting Jiro guts, and her guts spilled open, and she is horrified, and she falls on her knees while she's holding her guts, and a Xenomorph wrapping the tails around like invisible, choking her to death, and snapped Jiro's neck. And Jiro's body falls to the floor lightless, right after, before she even leaves the bathroom. In the shower room, actually. And then later on, they just don't know what the hell is going on. So Bakugo and Deku, they didn't want to wait. They want to go to the hive to save Araka and Aoyama. So pretty much, the visible Xenomorph that's going to be dealt with later on. But right now, Momo is in the shower, feeling still heartbreaks. But when she got out of the shower, she screams. And when she better get out of the shower, better head out. While she opens the door, she sees Jiro's dead body. Guts spilling out and her neck's been snapped. Keep in mind, Momo is still naked while she's coming up. She screamed so loud while Tokiyami is hearing all this, and then Kaminari wakes up from getting the face hug, and he looks down on the ground and sees the face hug, and Kaminari's like, oh no. And then he feels the pain, feeling the chest break, eating him out. And then it got worse, and and then the chest break bust out, killed Kaminari, and we see that little guy, a little creature, with a lightning bolt symbol on top of the head. And Tokiyama busts through the door and see dead Kaminari with that chest buster, or sorry, I'm a little bit tired as well, so sorry about that. And Todoroki came behind Tokiyami, and Tokiyami used Dark Shadow to grab that thing, and so Todoroki used the fire to kill it. So yeah, the chest bust is die immediately. So yeah, then Todoroki and Tokiyami hears Yaoyorozu screaming, so they rush in, see what the hell is going on, and so they couldn't see. Momo couldn't do anything because she is naked, and she falls on the ground because the floor is all wet. So she falls on her, falls on the ground, and the Xenomorph, slowly walking towards her, about to kidnap her or kill her, until both Tokiyami and Todoroki shows up, and Tokiyami screams like, Yaoyorozu, are you alright? And Momo's like, be careful, this thing is invisible. So this Xenomorph, and Todoroki says, so this one has Hagakure's quirk. And Todoroki's like, well, if we cannot see it, and Tokiyami gives Todoroki his knife that Tokoyami have, Todoroki cut his hand and throws the blood on the visible Xenomorph so you can see it, and and Tokoyami used Dark Shadow to get Momo out of there, away from the invisible Xenomorph, where Todoroki could use his fire. While Dark Shadow grabbed Momo, and right after Momo's out of the way, Todoroki used fire to kill this damn visible Xenomorph. The Xenomorph was about to charge, but didn't get a chance. So the visible Xenomorph dies. So they are just relieved that Momo didn't die. But sadly, they lost Kaminari and Jiro. So, a little bit summary right here, you guys. Rule number 1. Never start to having sex in the alien films. Because that's rule number 1. So, yeah. And I'm going to give this to Roadkilled, to the summary where Deku and Bakugo heads to the hive. So, you still there, my guy?
Yeah, I'm still here. Alright, so, more or less, Deku and Bakugo get ready to go to the hive. They hive, and when they arrive, they enter the hive. Everything is quiet. There's no activity. They're looking around, using flashlights. It's dark as shit in there. And nothing on the walls, nowhere. And as they're making their way deeper and deeper into the hive, they come into the chamber part where they have the eggs, and they're moving slowly to make sure that the eggs don't open up and for there to be face huggers. And that's when they see, Uraka and Aoyama, I think the place name.
Yeah, Aoyama. You said it right.
Aoyama attached to the wall. Now,
let's say, sorry to interrupt. They right next to them is, well, the dead bodies of Mineta and Hagakure.
But they don't let that get to them. Like, they got to them, but they're not gonna freak out because they're keeping their composure barely, but they're keeping it. And when they see Uraka and Aoyama, Deku rushes over to them as best as he can. Same with Bakugo, and the first one they get down is Uraka, and he's all right, and she's like, yeah, none of them, none of the face huggers. Well, she said none of them got on me, and then it's like, all right, now let's get Aoyama down.
I might as well take over this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
And Aoyama's like, just go without me. Those things already got me. Like, what do you mean? Look down. And they see the dead face hugger. And Deku's like, oh my god. And Aoyama's like, this was bound to happen. I meant to die. Because this is all my fault. And Deku's like, what do you mean it's your fault? It's my fault that I caused a USJ attack. It's my fault that Bakugo's got captured. It's my fault that you had to risk your life. It's my fault that League of Vengeance came to training camp. And Deku's like, what are you saying? Like, I'm a UA traitor. I gave all the information to All For One of the USJ. My parents were involved because we didn't have a choice. And that's when Bakugo got... And Bakugo was about to... After hearing it, Bakugo screams like, you son of a bitch! You telling me that you risk all of our lives to get the information for the villains? When it was worse, you got me kidnapped? And when it worse, you trying to make me join them? Now even more worse, you have all mine retired. It's all because of you. You piece of shit. And Deku was holding Bakugo hold back, and Deku's like, Kanchan, he didn't know that Kanchan, pull yourself together, man. This isn't. I don't give a fuck. I'm glad the damn face I fucking took you. You're dead. You hear me? You're fucking dead. And Aoyama is tearing up because this is his fault. But while he's tearing up, the freaking chest breaker is eating him up. Pretty much Bakugo doesn't care. He wanted to see Aoyama die. And of course, the chest buster busts out and goes right after Bakugo's face, and Bakugo grabs it and uses his explosion, killing it by blowing it in half. And then they hear the Xenomorph's cries coming around, and Deku's like, oh great, they're coming back. And that Bakugo's like, get round face out of here. I'll distract them as long as I can. Kanchan is like, don't argue with me, damn it. If we both go, they will come after all of us. So go, damn it. And Deku takes Uraraka and they head out to get away from the hive. And Bakugo sees some Xenomorph climbing down the wall, and Bakugo is, ignited his explosion. He's like, come get some. And then Bakugo jumps in midair and shooting explosion in one of the Xenomorph's head, killing it. And pretty much some of the Xenomorph are not backing down from a fight. So pretty much Bakugo fights Xenomorph by himself, where Uraraka and Deku are returning back to the others. And they see, when they return, Deku's like, guys, I'm back with Uraraka, but Aoyama didn't make it, and Bakugo will stay behind. And then they see 2 dead bodies covered up, and he sees Tokoyami, Todoroki, and Momo. And Deku sees that both Kaminari and Jiro are dead. And Deku realized, like, wait, where's Eri? And Tokoyami said, the little girl is safe. She's in my room hiding. But thankfully, nothing happened to her. And Deku just caught his breath and was like, oh, thank God. And Todoroki is like, wait, why Bakugo left behind? And Deku tells him that Bakugo let his anger out because Aoyama told us about he's the one who caused all of it. He caused the USJ attack. He caused the training camp attack because he gave all the information to the League of Villains. He's the US traitor. And they all just lost for words by hearing all of this. And it's been they just don't have the word to say, so Bakugo stayed behind so he could distract the Xenomorph while Deku and Uraraka returned. So they don't know if Bakugo could survive or come back alive. So pretty much it's been a freaking rough day. Now they're down to 6. Wait, 6? Yeah, 6. So pretty much is Deku, Uraraka, Momo, Tokoyami, Todoroki, and Eri. So they are the 6 survivors for right now. So yeah. So pretty much everything is, pretty much everything is calm, but they did manage to lose more people. And Deku's mind is in a dark place because he keeps failing to protect these people, and they all trust him, and then some of them are dying. Uraraka in a desperate place, and while Deku and Uraraka are just lost for words, they, well, I'm gonna get so much, eyes rolling on this point. Deku and Uraraka fell asleep together, and with all the exhaustion they gone through, they all just passed out to sleep because it's just too much for them. Todoroki and Tokoyami are going to be, keeping on lookout for more facehuggers and Xenomorph shows up if they do. Eri and Momo or the other two are also asleep as well. So pretty much after that, Momo, Deku, Uraraka, and Eri woke up and they hear more Xenomorph cries, and they need to figure out a plan how to get rid of these damn Xenomorph, like all of them once and for all, to get rid of all this damn hive. And so pretty much they only have one thing. The only way to get rid of these damn hive is some explosion, the explosion, something that can destroy the entire hive at once. Leave no witnesses behind. Leave no Xenomorph behind. No facehuggers, no chest breaks, and Xenomorphs. They all have to be wiped out. And Tokoyami brought up about what are we gonna do? The well, what are we gonna do? The Project King, aka the Xenomorph King. And Deku trying to pull all this together. Okay, we need to deal with that, but pretty much they have a goal. So pretty much Deku pulls out the plan that someone has to go down there and set the detonate while they release the Xenomorph King to go down to the hive and deal with the alien queen. So that's the plan. But the real question is who's going down there? And certainly not Deku, Momo, or Araka, because they've been through shit. And it has to be Todoroki or Tokoyami. So the person is Tokoyami volunteered. So pretty much Tokoyami volunteered, and Momo created 3 things for Tokoyami. A little earpiece to communicate with the having in his ear so he could stay in contact with the others. Momo created a walkie-talkie so they could hear Tokoyami, so both of them can. And Momo created 2 weapons, the claws blade, but they could ignite fire, so pretty much he could help to see the light, to have some light so he could kill some Xenomorph and control Dark Shadow. And also the bomb and also the detonator. So Tokoyami asked Momo for one more thing. He wanted his cloak if Momo could make it. So, which is Tokoyami's Pro Heroes outfit. So Momo actually did exactly that. So he has a plan. So Tokoyami pretty much is going down there, and then later on, they try to find a way to release the Project King, aka Xenomorph King, which they find a way, and when the gate is open and freed Xenomorph King, the king roar like never seen before, and the Xenomorph King charge at and head down to the location where the nest is at. While the Xenomorph goes down to the nest, and the Xenomorph sees this creature, this Xenomorph King is killing the Xenomorph that get in his way. And then when it arrived at where the queen is at, and both the queen and the king are roaring to each other. And keep this in mind, the Xenomorph King has All for One's quirk, while the queen has Overhaul's quirk. So basically, they are evenly matched. And some of the Xenomorph are watching the fight between those two, while the others are just scattered around or whatever. So, yeah. How I want this to go. So pretty much, Tokyomi is in, the hives, walking down when it was dark, while the other group are outside in their vehicle away from the company. And then when they're away, so because not only the hive is going to get blown up, but the freaking company itself is going to freaking blow up. So, yeah. And, so Momo tells Tokuyama that we're clear out of the building. So Tokuyama said, good. Now the plan is coming together. So when Tokuyama arrived at the hive, he sees, the dead bodies of his classmates are still hanging to the wall. Mineta, Aoyama, and Hagagure. And he felt heartbreak by seeing this. Even though they were classmates, they're more than just a classmate to him. So he looks at their dead corpse and said, y'all really don't deserve this, my friends. But I will make this right. And he set the detonate on the right next to where the dead bodies are still hanging on the wall, whatever. And he started setting everything up, and he set it to 1 minute so this place could blow up. And Tokuyami tells him, like, okay, the bomb has been set and ready to detonate. And Tokuyami and Momo's like, good, now use Dark Shadow and get out of here. Until after hearing Momo said that, they hear, Tokuyami hears the Xenomorph cries and coming toward the same location that Tokuyami is at. And Tokuyami said, apparently, I'm not planning to coming back. This is the end of the road. And everyone are just confused. And Deku just realized what he's saying. And Deku was like, Tokuyami, no! Don't you even think about... And Tokuyami removed the earpiece and destroyed it and tossed it aside. And Tokuyami, pulls out his blade and activates the flames with the blade. And he said, sorry I will not join the aftermath and celebrate with my family. But no more people needs to die. Dark Shadow, Black Abyss! And Dark Shadow does exactly as that. And, dudes are fighting pose where the Xenomorphs are coming around him. And Tokuyami is ready for a fight. He said, I'm ready where you are, you sick son of a bitch. And the Xenomorphs are just, roar at it. And they are charging at Tokuyami. And Tokuyami charge at them as well. He jumps and swings and attacks the Xenomorph, killing the Xenomorph. Some of them were getting decapitated, sliced in half. And there was a part where Tokoyami, using the blade of the Xenomorph's tail, using it as a weapon, killing him left to right, where the time of the bomb were about to detonate whenever it, and Tokoyami was about to get massacred. When it reached zero, it was time for Tokoyami to hit the detonate, and boom! Everything exploded while the king and the queen are still fighting. They hear the explosion, but they didn't have no time to react. They both get exploded. The entire hive get exploded. And then the company itself from the outside do get exploded as well. The massive explosion came like a big, huge, like a nuclear explosion that much bigger than it is before. And everyone get out of the vehicle and see the explosion and realize that Tokoyami died in a heroic way. And they are just lost for words, and none of that, it's finally over. And they lost so many lives because of this. How can they even repay for this? How can they live a normal life like this? Until Tokoyami pointed out and said, there's someone coming out from the smoke. And then we see someone's walking like badly bruises, and this person lost a right arm, and this person is covered up in a little bit blood, covered up in blood, but bruises, but barely alive, and it reveals to be Bakugo, and everyone are just shocked, and Deku is lost for words that Bakugo is alive. And Deku screams out by saying, Kachan! And Bakugo's like, do you really think those damn bastards could take me out? I'm Koski Bakugo! And that pretty much Bakugo's like, looks like that damn birdhead, or nevermore, actually took those damn out. At least he went down like an OG. Unlike that damn raccoon. Fucking pussy. And Deku could have just rush into Bakugo and hug him because he thought he lost, his childhood best friend, aka his childhood bully. But Bakugo just couldn't help it. Just this once, just freaking hugging back, and he says, "This is a one-time thing. We doing this, and I'm still hurt." And Bakugo, Deku breaks the hug and pulls back with the other group, and Todoroki's like, "Well, it's good to have you back, Bakugo." Yeah, shut up, half and half. And then Uraraka asks, "It's finally over, isn't it? We won, but at what cost?" And Deku said, "Well, the only thing I could think of that survived, that's the only thing I could think of, we survived, but the cost of everyone that we know of their lives. But there has to be survivors, some of the classmates and the teachers, and they're still alive back there. Then we need to head back. We need to head back home." So everyone nods and agreed, and Baku was like, "Good. Oh, that old lady bitch is still alive because I need recovery after this." And Deck was like, "Yeah, we all need the recovery. Well, I don't know about your arm, but don't you fucking say it. Looks like you've been disarmed." And Baku's like, "God damn it!" And they all just can't have about a laugh. And Baku's like, "Shut up, that wasn't funny!" And they all got in the vehicle and drove off and head back to UA if everything is all clear. And the news brought out that it's been past few weeks since the incident, but the cost of some people who risked their life to end it all. But somehow, someway, it took almost a month for, the parents are allowed to keep the UA open. But for the past several years, Deku and the other did, have a normal life, etc. But they cannot forget of their life, what they went through of the outbreak. So, yeah. And that's is the end of the movie of What If MHA Xenomorph Outbreak. And Jesus fucking Christ, right now is freaking I I'm lost for words. It's already 2 hours and 26 minutes by this recording. Jesus fucking Christ, I was not expecting it to be this fucking long. But anyway, I want to go ahead and end this video here because I want to go back inside. Because it's already 1 o'clock in the fucking morning over here. And I feel like Roadkilled is freaking bad at past asleep. So, I want to say thanks to Roadkill be part of this. I feel like he really enjoying this. Even though we've been trying to get this over with before this happened because we were too busy talking with Hollow and whatever. We got so distracted. So, I really have nothing to say. So, Roadkill, any thoughts anything you want to say before we end it here?
Well, all I really have to say is I had fun doing this. Like, even though I did, even though you did most of the talking, I still really enjoyed it because, I'm a major fucking nerd when it comes to Xenomorphs and anything in that universe. So this was really good. And it being my first time doing an actual video, what if video, it was pretty,
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead, dude.
yeah, it was a good experience, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, and I was not expecting this would be 2 hours. I think I did mention about it was going to be 2 hours long in our story explain. But hope you guys still enjoyed it nonetheless. But it's going to be a long, long uploading when I use my editing. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Links to my social media. We're down below script wise. You guys know a drill. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Nearly before Shadow Critius, and I'll see you guys later.